Yizzo, what's going on, man? Chilling. Oh, first of all, you like the shirt? This is you stand up. It's off flyteesforyou.com exclusive. It's an all over print. Nice stretchy material. It's dope too. I'll put the link in the description. Flyteesforyou.com. They are 25% off. The discount will be applied at checkout. But no, yeah, it's definitely dope, especially right. Summer getting nice too. The weather getting nice. Gotta hop on it, man. Get your stats right. Get your stats right. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about that. First things first. Michael Rappaport, you're a snitch. Yeah, you're a 6'9". You are a turncoat. You are an enemy of the state. You are a detriment to society. For what you did to KD, I don't know if you were trying to gain favor with the woke community, and it might have worked for you, but you've lost points with the my community, manhood community. Yeah, that's an L, bro. That's an L. And you of all people, you're one of the most offensive people on the internet, and I love you for it. I love your rants. I've still seen a bunch of your videos. They be having me crying. So when you acting now, you're appalled and you're offended by what KD wrote in your inbox too. That's your personal DM, and you just put it out there for the world to see. Cancel. Get him out of here. Get him out of here. Anyway, NBA has a big problem. Ratings. I was supposed to make this video a couple days ago, but I've been going through some stuff. But yeah, I know they trying to make this, because I had seen this article like last week about LeBron being hurt and it's making the NBA ratings suffer. Didn't make any sense to me. How could LeBron, he's that big in the sport that if he's out, nobody's gonna watch basketball? Absolutely not. So if the Boston Celtics and the Brooklyn Nets are playing, people aren't gonna watch because LeBron isn't playing. He doesn't even play for those teams. So what sense does that make? Makes no sense at all. They're not gonna watch the Lakers games. But they're gonna watch whatever. I mean, NBA's not that good now anyway, but still. But it's still reeling. Now the articles are coming out now. 34% watch less sports because of social justice reform. I seen this from last year when it happened. I'm gonna tell you guys a little story real quick. Last year when the George Floyd situation happened, the pandemic, all that, it was a horrible situation. But the woke agenda exploded. Everybody became woke now. Racism. You had to Breonna Taylor. You had all of these now police shootings and rioting was going on and looting, and people were just fed up about it. They were tired of racism and they were going to do something finally. Then Black Lives Matter came on the scene and exploded, and it was just a great moment in the country. It was like a grand awakening, and everybody was woke, and they were going to demand justice by any means necessary. And Twitter got involved, social media got involved, the news media got involved, and companies just started just donating money. They just started canceling stuff and getting rid of stuff and firing this people and rearranging the organization and getting rid of products and doing the most, right? Because they were terrified. And the NBA and NFL, Major League Baseball, they all took suit. They all followed suit because of what the internet was saying. Now, Twitter is basically the cancel culture, right? You get canceled, it's usually on Twitter. So I'm thinking, I thought I was the only one who didn't have Twitter, to be honest. Yeah, I'm just like, everything you see is like Twitter related. Every quote from Twitter, post from Twitter, like Twitter. That's what I'm thinking. Most people are on it. But to give you a little perspective, in this country, 50% of this country is on Facebook. That's over like 150 something people, 150 millions like people. That's around there. That's a lot of people. Twitter, 7%. That's it. 7% of the population is on Twitter. That's about 17 million. That's about 17 million people. And out of that 17 million, most of them come from I think 60% come from 3 places: New York, Cali, and Miami. That's it. So you got 3 cities that basically run Twitter. I'm thinking it's a whole conglomerate, and it's like I was really shocked when I seen those numbers. I'm like, Like, what am I looking at? Like, why is it always seeming like something is big? They make it something seem bigger than what it really is. They always do that. And I'm starting not to fall for it now. I'm starting to actually like research like numbers and facts to see exactly what's going on. And I was shocked when I seen those. So, but also with Twitter, that makes it seem bigger. It's because of who's on Twitter. It's like it's the elitists. It's the actors, the actresses, celebrities, athletes, musicians, entertainers, influencers, politicians, anybody that's like famous or whatever is on Twitter. So, and they have a lot of followers, so it makes it seem like it's a lot of people involved in it. Not so much, I guess. Not so much. So what happened is the NBA got bamboozled. Everybody got bamboozled by Twitter, social media, and the news media. Because they had us thinking, the whole country was shifting in this new direction of wokeness. And we were all sick and tired of it. And now, not to say that if you don't, like, Black lives, yeah, everybody knows that. It's stupid. All lives matter. What are you talking about? Not just being black. All lives matter. Right? But what they were doing was something totally different. They were just out there just trying to just basically call every white person a racist. And if you weren't white and you weren't on board, you were a racist. And we're trying to cancel white people as a whole. They're still trying to do it. So what happened was the NBA and sports, they all got together and they started making this whole campaign where they were putting Black Lives Matters on the courts and on the jerseys, and I can't breathe on the collars and all that, and the players were wearing Black Lives Matter shirts and they were walking arm in arm. Now, another thing about Black Lives Matter, most people don't even know what the group is really about, what they stand for. Like, you got to actually go to their website and read their mission statement to see what they were really about. And not good things was on their mission statement. They were, first of all, they said they were trained Marxists. And you know history? You know who Karl Marx is? No, probably not. Karl Marx is up there with Stalin and Hitler. Yeah, they're in the same family tree. Yeah, very evil people, very evil man. Evil man, wicked. But he's like the Black Lives Matter. He's like their Nelson Mandela. They swear by him. Right? And then they also had a message on there about dismantling the Western structure of family. Really? You know what the Western structure of family is? Man, woman, children. They want to dismantle that. They don't like that. They don't like the family concept at all. They want to get rid of it. But they took that part down with their mission statement because months later because of backlash for that. But this is the group that everybody was supporting. Now, if you understood who this group was, this is not a group you should be supporting at all. At all. You should not be supporting them out in the open like this because they are what they stand for. But nonetheless, the NBA, they woke now. Everybody's woke. And I keep telling you, they don't be woke. They just can't sleep. They just haven't had a good night's sleep in forever. They're insomniacs. So they're woke, but they're not woke, right? So they try to appease the social media influence. So they put the Black Lives Matter on the courts. Now you can kneel. Not just in football. You can kneel anywhere you wanted to. Anything you could kneel. And like I said, they put I can't breathe on the jerseys, I think, or the names of social justice victims on the on the shirts. All this, and they thought they did it. They said, yes, we finally did it. We're woke. We're being accepted. They thought they was right there. They was kneeling with the player. Remember now, I started seeing the coaches kneeling with the players and white people crying and shit about racism and all this other. I'm like, man, what are you doing? How the hell all of a sudden now you concerned about the black community? Now you just whatever, to each his own. But I saw right through it. I didn't think none of it was genuine. It all being forced. Look at the Washington Redskins. You see how scared they were? They don't even have a name on a football team. They just called the Washington Football Team. That's how scared they were. It's ridiculous. Anyway, so they did all of this. They said, all right, cool, we got it. Plus, it's a pandemic. Stuff is shut down. Can't really go anywhere. So they got the best of both worlds. You in your house. NBA and NFL, we're all woke now. So the country's going to love us because it's what Twitter and the news media told us. They said this whole country is shifting. You guys better get on board or we're gonna cancel you. So they thought they thought they won. They woke, they got the Black Lives Matter everywhere, the banners, all that. Players are walking arm in arm on the field and they're crying, and every interview you ask an athlete now had nothing to do with sports. It was all about social justice and police brutality and racism, right? So then the game started. So the NBA's ready. Said, man, we got this good. We figured this one out. Because they were the first sport to come back. NBA and baseball. I think golf too came around that time. So they're ready. They're thinking, we about to do pew. Raiders going to soar. They started playing. Bomb. Nobody was watching. Nobody watched that bullshit. Nobody. They couldn't believe it. They couldn't figure it out. They're like, listen, we did everything. Like, y'all told us this was like the move. We had to do this and get on board, and they were gonna love us for it. Not so. Because the NBA, first rule of business, you gotta know who your fan base is. You gotta know who your real fan base is. They thought the woke community and the Black Lives Matter, the social justice fight, they thought that was their fan base. Let me explain to you something about the woke community and Black Lives Matter. They don't even watch sports. They don't watch sports. Do you realize most of the people in these movements are women anyway? That women don't watch sports. Listen, they're looking for racism everywhere. They don't have time to be watching sports or even enjoying life. From the moment they wake up to the moment they go to sleep, all they do is look for racism and things to cancel. They look under the rocks, in the bushes, in your kitchen cabinets, underneath the car, in the back seat. They're looking for racism anywhere they can find it so they can cancel it. So they don't have time. They don't watch sports. With the NBA, NFL, and Major League Baseball fail to realize is that white people are your fan base. They are 70% of the population. There's just too many of them. Now, even though in the NBA and the NFL, the players are, I think the NFL is like 75% black, and NBA is probably like 80 to 90% black, and most black people watch basketball, and most people on Twitter, maybe like the celebrities and the musicians and all that, the actors, they probably watch basketball, but they don't represent your core fan base. White people watch more basketball than black people. White people go to more games than anybody. White people buy more merchandise than anybody. So when you align yourself with a movement that's basically telling white people that they're racist and they're devils and they need to be fixed somehow, and you just displaying it right in front of their faces, basically like a disrespect, like a big FU, yeah, they're not going to watch your sport anymore. They're just not going to. They'll find something else to do. They'll go fix that shed. They'll go paint the roof. They'll go hunting. They'll go fishing. They will figure out something to do besides watch you and support you. And then it makes sense. Why would you? Like, why would I watch a sport that's basically telling me I'm wicked? Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't understand why they even thought that, but they were fooled. They were tricked by Twitter and the social media and the news. They thought that this is what the majority of the country was feeling at the time. And it wasn't. It wasn't. This is what they were telling you was going on. So in the NBA, they wouldn't admit it. They were just trying to say, oh, well, people weren't watching. They're just not watching sports anymore. I mean, these ratings were so bad that golf was beating the NBA and Major League Baseball in ratings when they came back out. Golf. And I'm not talking about the majors and the Players' Cups and the major golf tournaments. I'm talking about a regular Saturday afternoon. You got golf, you got baseball, you got basketball, you got playing, and golf was just beating them. You know why? Coincidentally, guess what golf didn't do that these other three sports did? They stayed away from that social media stuff. They said, man, I don't want to see a BLM keychain on the golf course. Somebody getting fired. They said, we're not playing that. Keep that shit over there. We playing sports here. And that's true. That's right. I don't watch sports to hear about social justice reform. There's enough of that going on in the news and social media. You're supposed to be taking my mind off of this stuff. I should never come on a sports show here. I should never be watching a sports show here. You talking about stuff that has nothing to do with sports. I should not be watching the game and seeing you doing things about not involving the sport or supporting movements and agendas. I shouldn't be hearing players' interviews where they're discussing social justice before. Tell me why you scored 30 and 10. I don't want to hear about police brutality. That's not your avenue. It's not your lane. I'm pretty sure you don't have most of the facts anyway. You just spitting your opinion. Yeah, and that's what happened. They're still not. They're still trying to follow types of excuses. oh, well, all the sports were playing at the same time, so people were kind of messed up about what to watch and when. That's not the reason. Then they came up with this LeBron James stuff. He's the reason why the ratings. It's not the reason. Now they're pointing out what the reason is. 34% because of social justice. That's the reason. And the NBA, they realized their mistake during the finals. They came out and said, yeah, next year we're gonna move in a different direction. And even though we still care about social justice, we're not gonna be putting that stuff on the. They said, man, get that. I know David Stern was out there with a scraper, like, get that BLM sign, scrape it off. I know he was mad as hell because he was lied to. He was bamboozled. He was tricked. So now you see the NBA now, they're not woke anymore. Well, they woke up from this situation, but they're not woke like they thought they were. So you don't see any more Black Lives Matter stuff anywhere. It's not on the players' jerseys. You don't even hear the players talking about any kind of social justice issues anymore. They are done. They've been given the word. We're not doing none of that. A couple months ago, Mark Cuban came out and said he's no longer playing the national anthem at the Dallas Mavericks games. The NBA came out the very next morning. I mean, they moved expeditiously. I don't know why I like saying that word now, but I do. Expeditiously. They moved quick. And said, we are playing the national anthem. All teams are going to play the national anthem, and you have to stand for it. That's how woke they are now. Because they like 30% ratings down. That's not good for any business. That's not good for any bottom line at all, period. And no matter what kind of social justice or how great you are with it, yeah, that's not gonna make that up. Because, like I said, the woke community doesn't watch sports anyway. So you're not going to get any of that money back. Now you just look like a pawn and a puppet. Yeah, but, you live and you learn. You live and you learn. But the whole point I'm trying to make is, if Twitter and social media and the news can fool the big-ass companies like the NBA, NFL into believing something was real when it wasn't, imagine what else they're making you think is real when it's not. If all they got to do is create a narrative, make you think something is racist, and then they just get with the heads of Twitter and Facebook and YouTube and the news and say, listen, here's the agenda. Here's what we want you guys to talk about, and we want you to portray this like it's real. Just start thinking. What else? I have a simple equation. Whatever I see Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and the news talking about all at the same time, I know that's an agenda. I know that's something that they want you to believe is true or false, whatever the narrative they create. So if they want you to think something is true, I kind of tend to believe that it's not true, it's false. And if they want me to think something is false, I tend to believe that it's probably true, based on the fact that I know how they work, I know how they play. But yeah, start keeping your eyes and ears open for stuff like that. Just look. Because if they fool the NBA, they fooling us all the time. And I still fall victim to what they do. But I'm starting to get better at figuring it out. And I hope you guys do too, because stuff is coming that you have no idea what's happening. And before you realize it, when you do finally realize it, it's probably already going to be too late. Yeah, so I hate being woke. Like, subscribe, comment, subscribe, like. And I'm going to be here for a while, man. God willing. But I'm out.